Good day, loves. Welcome to this moment. This is episode 104 of the Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast. And we are talking about celebrating, learning, and thriving creative ways to energize your community work. And I think this is pretty cool topic today that we're going to be getting into. Good day in Instagram land.
What's up?
If you don't know who we are, I am Coach Tensi.
I'm Coach Soul.
And we are Ufulu Child. Ufulu means freedom. And we follow a 5-prong healing system that we call the Freedom 5, where each day of your work week, you're going to be equipped with one of the 5 aspects of a fulfilling freedom, holistic freedom lifestyle. And you want to say a little something about something?
Yeah, so today's episode is actually very important for those of us that are already doing or want to do more community work, whether that community work is rooted in feeding people, social work, gardening, whatever your community work is, this episode will be important for you. And even if you want to be involved in community work, but you're not in it yet and you don't know where to start, this also will be important for you because you will bring some innovative ideas inspired by this episode's topics into, when you finally do get started. So, definitely tune in. We're talking about how to energize, meaning ignite the fire under our and behind our community work. So there's a lot of things. If I were to define community work, I would just define it as work that aims to improve your local region, right? Work that aims to improve, whether that's beautifying, you take some mundane bridge barriers and you spray paint really nice, pictures on them, or, some sort of art project that beautifies the area, or you clean up trash, or like I said, you feed people,
like
right? You do a turkey drive for Thanksgiving.
Or like a farm to table drive.
You start or maintain a community garden, or maybe you manage it and volunteer to manage the community garden. Social work. Yeah, help out with child rearing or counseling or lots of different community projects that people already have ongoing and can easily start in their community and also get some funding for, even if it's city or state funding. Lots and lots of different things to do, but there's a routine nature about doing community work. The work never ceases. The amount of work that has to get done never diminishes because you've done some work. There's no shortage of work, and therefore it becomes a daily practice, right? It becomes a thing that you have to do day to day. And so since there's a routine nature to doing community work, we have to bring together a principle that we often, Grand Rising, what's up? Use in our relationships, in our romantic relationships and marriages and partnerships. Romantically, we have to use a principle that we use there to keep the community work out of the mental space of mundane, boring, just going through the motions, which I call spicing up your community work, why community work needs to be spiced up.
And because today is Shine Day and it's all about our relationships and how we are sharing those honest, insightful, and nourishing expressions with others. And that includes our community and like that real life, real relationships type stuff. Okay, is what today's all about. So I think it's really fitting and I'm really inspired by this topic because one thing about, for y'all married people out there, it is a continuous journey of finding that balance in your relationship with your spouse. And it's so important to remember the reasons why you're doing what you're doing in those relationships. And so spicing it up, like, if one of the things that we recently came across was an app called Ultimate Intimacy, which is like definitely a very tasteful spice up. And I love it so much. So it's like, okay, how can we strengthen our connection to community? Not at all in terms of intimacy in that way, but you know, but still strengthening our our bond to our work and to like having meaningful impact and actually cultivating community. And actually cultivating community in ways that people know, hey, I can come to this space and I will my soul will be fed. I can come to this space and I know that I will be seen, I will be heard, I'll be able to speak honestly and share my whole self, right?
And depending on your personality, you may not feel like you need it as much, right? So if your personality is very duty oriented, if you're oriented to duty and discipline more than your average bear, then for you, every day showing up, doing your part might not be as difficult, or I shouldn't even say difficult, but might not be as strenuous on your mental state, right? But for a lot of people, incentive and
The element of surprise.
what am I trying to say? Incentive, or what draws our intuition right into the space of wanting to go back and do more of the pulling the weeds or doing the stuff, talking to the people, whatever it is. That connection will stale over time if it's just routine and duty and routine and duty. Which, nothing wrong with routine and duty. That provides structure, that provides foundation. But as we already alluded to, um, just like you want to spice things up, in the bedroom every now and again for a long-term relationship to not lose its intimate flame, you want to spice things up in your community work with various activities. And we have some refreshing, activities and the benefits of them. So what the aim of these activities are is to increase engagement and participation in the community work itself, right? Increase the number of people who are willing to volunteer, increase the number of teenagers and young adults that even know about these community projects and aren't just swallowed up with their schoolwork and other things like that. I'm really hating this glare in the Facebook feed.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
it's a sun glare.
Yeah.
But y'all know the sun's out here. It's fine.
Yeah, y'all know what we look like.
But one thing I do want to say before you dive into the
and renew the passion. But go ahead. Yeah.
Word. So before we get into these ideas, this is stuff that we are on a journey of, implementing more deeply. So this is something that we're still kind of navigating, trying to find out ways to cultivate meaningful community, sustainable community that, you don't get burnt out being a part of, and you can really become nourished, and it lasts. It's a place that is growing and alive and all these things. So these are some principles and some ideas that we came across that we think would be cool to share, because we know that you, as a freedom seeker, are also on a journey of building some sort of community, even if it is your local community. You're trying to like share what you know about health, about truth, about how we can set up our next generations for as
A
good of a
better
life,
tomorrow. Yeah, better tomorrow.
than we had. So
So the first idea is celebration, right? Recognizing milestones like birthdays, achievements, completions, graduations, strengthening bonds just with block parties, house parties, celebrations. Okay, you get together, you hear some music, you eat some food, you shake some hands, you give some hugs, you talk about the community goals. You talk about the achievements, you talk about how proud you are of each other. Getting together and celebrating is a very, very, first of all, super ancient, right? One of the most ancient things that builds community in all of human existence.
and
But
yeah.
it reignites that feeling of connection, where you're not just trying to be connected to the work that you're doing as a community and the work that you seek to do one day as a community, but you're also connecting with the people that will be doing the work when you're not there. And that builds trust, that builds passion, that builds a whole slew of other positive outcomes. Yeah, you see us getting like brighter and brighter. There's like a super glare in the
There's
Facebook
a super
feed,
glare in the
but
Facebook feed.
anyway,
It just looks like there's light beaming through me.
yeah,
It's just
it's because you the light.
we the light out here. Okay. Yeah. So for this, I just wanted to make a little note that it does not need to be fancy dancy. Okay, it does not to be. It doesn't have to be this big old gala like some organizations feel like you have to have this big old gala in order to really be doing the things, and that's not the case. You just need some sort of gathering together where you are in celebration, a joyful gathering, and one of the it could look like a potluck. It could look like a community picnic where everyone brings something and contributes something to the space. It could look like one little example in family family dinner that we went to on your side of the family, and they had these cute little certificates and little awards that they made for the kids,
Printed out on their own
printed
printer.
out, and just like rehash moments that they had over the past year and stuff that they were proud of them for. So acknowledging their achievements and their good the good parts of them in terms of their personality or stuff that they've done for someone else, or achievements maybe that they had in or out of school, or what they're really passionate about. And just hearing that was just it allowed me to learn more about the babies, and it made me feel more connected to the family too. So it was really beautiful to see, and it is one example of how you can have these milestones where it doesn't have to be this fancy thing or this huge project that gets completed. If you're on a weight loss journey, it could be like, yo, you lost your first 5 pounds. Yay.
Boom.
Milestone. So, or,
I made one pimple disappear.
yes. And then if you're on your journey to reverse autoimmune conditions, then maybe a milestone is that you got your blood sugar under control, honey. Yay. That's great. So it's very, very important to just realize and recognize the opportunities that we have access to now. And it doesn't have to be this big old thing, but it can be like a small little thing that we do. So let's move on to
So
the
okay.
next.
So celebrate is a huge thing. There's a bunch of different ideas for celebration. Another thing you can do, you can get together as a community, people who are participating in the community work, as well as all of these ideas you want to have accessible to friends and family, right? Even extended family that don't live there but can contribute in some way, shape, or form. Another idea is workshops, skill building events, if you will. The value of education is endless and infinite. The value of learning together, even, gives room for further appreciation of said learning, because you feel connected with somebody that's learning it with you. Learning, it fosters the sense of progress and empowerment. right? Community empowerment and self-empowerment go together like bread and butter, baby.
Yeah. And when we're
Um,
doing stuff together, like putting our hands to something, there's just a whole other level of connection because we're both in the same kind of experience. Like if you've ever volunteered for Habitat for Humanity, where they're building houses for
I have,
people,
yeah.
like to me, being able to say that, hey, we teamed up and did this together, and we got this done for these people is amazing. So
Some things that we can learn together are things like
mm,
gardening techniques,
gardening,
stuff that not only pertains to a potential community garden, but also how you can put
grow
gardening
your own
techniques
food.
in your like in your windowsill. And there's various things that you can learn in regard to just one topic, right? Also, creative arts workshops. You get together. We just went to our second, maybe our first. I think it was our first paint and sip, which was
It was our
nice.
first.
First
It
paint and
was
sip
great.
that we ever went to.
It
We've been
was so
together
good.
for years and years now.
Shout out to
Shylon and Seven.
Seven.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
7 Art Party on Instagram.
Learning how to do art in various ways, like pottery or
Hip hop soul affirmations.
yeah,
Hip hop
creating hip hop.
affirmations. Yeah.
I do hip hop soul affirmation workshops
Mhm.
where you learn how to make an affirmation, make it rhyme, say it over a beat, see how it feels. Uh, and then like health and wellness. Tensi used to do yoga in the park every Sunday.
Mhm. Yeah.
Before Omi and such things, and also
Sound
before winter
healing.
time.
Like all different health and wellness sessions. So
Yeah,
whether it's
yeah.
meditation or yoga or a cooking class. More recently, we've been
Mhm.
doing these nutrition cooking classes, teaming up with the Sustainable Food Center here in Austin.
Men's circles and women's circles.
Mhm.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a thing, but it can be more of a mental thing.
Yeah.
So workshops, right? Learning opportunities, practice opportunities. It could be, let's say in your community, some of your community work has to do with rebuilding the community. You can hold like teen and young adult shop workshops where you learn carpentry or you learn welding or something like that. Of course, you would need an instructor in that regard, but hopefully somebody is in your community that you instruct, or somebody's willing to volunteer, or you hire somebody for a one-time event. But either way, you can come together and do things like that. But skill building workshops, these things are another way besides just celebrating for a celebrating sake, way to spice things up in your community work.
Yeah, and you can gamify this thing, right? So making things into like to have that element of fun. Say, especially if kids are involved, but also we're low-key grown kids. In terms of we want to have fun still in the
Absolutely.
work that we're doing. So if we can gamify it somehow where again with those sorts of milestones and things like that, but also if we can have like one group that's focusing on this and one group that's focusing on that, and then we like get it done in a way that is bite-sized and we get to celebrate along the way and have a little healthy competition that could be really fun. That's as far as my idea goes. If y'all have ideas of how to gamify, please do not hesitate to drop those in the comments because I need them. All right.
Yeah, we can just give points for contributions, and then the points never end. There's nobody who wins. You just give points. That's an idea. Anyway,
Contributions.
So the thing about community work is it has to be goal oriented, right? Not that the community work will ever be finished. We already talked about how there's never a done moment for community work, but you want to align with the community goals, and those goals have to be themed after the community problems or community issues that are affecting a lot of people in the community. So every community has issues. Not every community's issues are on the same hierarchy of what's most important to address, what's least important to address, right? So you want to be able to come together and this is the third and final idea, come together and reevaluate your community initiatives and your community goals so that you and your community are all on the same page as far as what's the priority, how do we help the children, how do we help each other, and in what order should we like focus, or how much time we should spend on this versus this versus this. So
It's like
you
real
can
life talking with each other.
right, you can host non-governmental city halls, right? You can host non-formal meetings where you're bringing some minds together, especially minds that are already engaged in the community work. You come together and you hash out your ideas and you hear each other and you listen to each other, and then you go and maybe plant a seed in the areas that need the most work, some way, somehow.
Like if you one thing that as an example, I noticed that, okay, one of the organizations that I'm a part of is the Black Mamas Village, and I absolutely love it because it's a space where all these moms in the Austin community that happen to be also Black come together and support each other, whether it's through food drives or it's through other initiatives, free childcare, financial and economic help. And just the list goes on. Like they have all sorts of opportunities in a place that you can go and co-work and get some help with watching your babies while you focusing on stuff. So they just do so much good work. But one of the things that I was noticing is that they have these town halls that are virtual, so it does not have to be in person, especially for the working mama. You trying to like be there for your babies, okay? But I really liked that it was a space where we could realign, we could see what the priorities are from the other moms, and how can we kind of make sure that all the voices of what people feel like is the most important thing to them in their lives be represented or heard,
and
truly.
Yeah, and that's awesome, and that's something that we can all do. And also, I would say include some of the children in this.
Yes.
Right, not under a certain age limit, maybe 6 and up, but just if they can understand kind of what the meeting is about, if you will, what the event is about, here's some of their ideas. They might be really helpful, they might be really inspiring, and they might be out there, and we're able to focus it in a way that's practical for us to actually implement it. And then as a child, they get to see their idea affect their community positively, which will leave a core memory connection to a belief that's aligned with truth.
I can do a good thing. Yeah. Absolutely. And that lastly, that makes me think of the importance of talking to people. Okay. And it sounds like the simplest thing, but low key, I be trying to bypass this so hard because part of me doesn't want to talk to nobody. But, there is a very important and crucial thing of stepping outside of your comfort zone. I'm also speaking to myself when I'm saying this. Stepping outside of your comfort zone and asking the people that you want to work with, that you want to serve, what is the biggest challenge that you're facing? What's your number one stressor right now? And what have you tried? What would you like to try? What is in your thrive zone? Again, talking about thrive zone again, and we will always talk about it because that's that meeting of the three worlds of what you most love, what you need, and what you're called to. And that's the only space where fulfillment truly lives, like that soul fulfillment, right? And so, if we try to bypass it and just create the event or just create the whole calendar for the community, and we have not asked them, then we get all butthurt when people don't show up, when people are like, oh, actually, I can't make that, and I didn't need that. And it's like, what? I just went through all this to try to make this perfect thing, and then you don't even, like, you probably already have that, or you don't need that part, or it's a mess. So we need to talk to each other first, and then kind of let it be this living and moving and growing experience where it's truly a collaborative effort that we're doing, so that it takes the burdens off of a few people trying to plan it, and it allows for there to be that sense of ownership and autonomy and accountability from the people that want to participate too. Does that make sense?
So as a short recap, you want to spice things up in your community work to keep the flame ignited and to keep the tasks of, I go and maintain the thing, I go and feed the people, I go and do the social work, I go and volunteer at the school, right? Whatever it is. You to do that consistently and to honor that process consistently, you have to every now and again spice things up. Just like paralleled with your romantic relationships, there are duties that we have. We have to meet each other's needs, and to continue to meet each other's needs in those ways, things like date night, things like spicing things up in the bedroom, things like new food and whatever, are very necessary just to keep us going. And 3 ideas that we shared in this episode are celebrations,
joyful gatherings,
learning opportunities, skill building, workshop-based events,
workshops,
and reevaluating and re-energizing our goals. Some way, shape, or form. Goals. You come together, you talk with each other, you hear each other, you listen to each other. So you're not just talking,
and we take it.
You're listening, right? And the note takers are taking their notes, and then you continue to do the work with those things in mind. Thank you so very much for tuning into today's episode of Holistic Freedom Secrets podcast.
So this is our challenge. Ha! This is our challenge, y'all. Don't look at me like that, baby. It's a fun thing. Okay.
What?
The mission. Okay, this is the challenge, as I'm about to say. The challenge is to create the sustainable community. And so what is something that we can have as a takeaway, as an action item, something that you can commit to that will be the next natural step in the direction of actually having a sustainable community? That is my question prompt. Let me know in the chat what's one thing that you are going to do, that's in your thrive zone, you're ready for, you'd love to do, and that you need to do to help further cultivate community. Yeah.
Oh, two communities I want to highlight real quick as well. Y'all head over to affirmlifedaily.com and check out that website and click on a whole bunch of links in that website, affirmlifedaily.com, because that's a community initiative in learning your worth, your value, as well as connecting to other communities that are doing other things, one of which you can find links to on affirmlifedaily.com is Farm Fresh 24/7.
Fresh 24/7.
And I can't remember the name of the other one, but the brother he goes by the name of Nature Boy, is doing great work as far as farming.
Yeah, he has his own homestead, and they are really applying the principles of sustainable community.
Yep.
The active and real life engagement of the local community to come together and, hey, we're doing
collectively
this thing.
Sustainable.
That's collectively sustainable. Name. Nice. Yep. So, yes, those are a couple things to.
Those are a couple highlights for Shine Day.
Yeah. And also, since it's Shine Day, I need to shout out a client who's winning out here in these streets. Okay, so
no names.
Yes, I will not share the name, but you know who you are if you hear this. So she has over in a matter of a few months, she has already lost a few dress sizes. Her joints have strengthened. and the brain fog is lifted, more energy, and just really seeing the differences of these little simple 30-day resets that we've been doing, helping to recalibrate the hormones, helping to recalibrate the life in harmony with her visions of freedom. She's back painting, and tapping into her passions too. So that's just really exciting for me. And I got to shout out another client as well. I will not say the name, but she's also really doing amazing things as well, weaning off of some medications that have, taken their toll over the years, and finding more clarity, more solidarity in her mind and her spirit, and also coming to a better relationship with her digestive system. Is flowing and it's going in ways that it needs to support her overall health.
And she's been advocating for herself in the face of the medicinal, them folk over there.
The Western medicine machine.
Yeah. So awesome.
So
We'll
proud
see
of
you
y'all.
guys next time on Monday for B-Day. And we love y'all.
Yeah. Take care, loves. Peace.